an INFJ, you might be someone who struggles to make friends, or you are surrounded by people, but you're still lonely as fuck. The path of an INFJ can be lonely. It's a common theme that comes up in my therapy sessions. Loneliness. I think that this is something an INFJ can overcome so that they feel surrounded by love and acceptance from others. But this requires an acceptance from you. And to accept yourself means you need to understand who you are. Your hurts, your pain, but most of all, your strengths, your superpowers. The very thing that makes up you. The unique flavor you have to leave a positive impact on this world. But you need to learn how to harness that strength and power so that you don't push people away. Hey, I'm Sam. I'm an online therapist for INFJs, introverts, and empaths. I also leave paper cranes in the community with little messages of hope for people to find. So, what am I talking about? What is the greatest strength and superpower that an INFJ has? That is the introverted intuition. At times, it might come across like you're psychic or a witch, or it can be super intimidating for people. Because with introverted intuition, that generally means you can read between the lines. You pick up on any body changes, facial expressions. You can hear what people are saying even when they're not saying it. And sometimes people can freak out about this. And those type of people will generally avoid you or push you away. They know that they can't hide the truth from you because you can see right through their bullshit. At times, you might have a gut feeling or an inkling about something. And when it comes to business, you probably make decisions and steps by those intuitive thoughts and feelings. Some people actually find this weird, especially when you can't actually explain how or why you came to a decision. For some people, it can feel completely out of the blue. Now, as much as I love spirituality, and trust me, I do, I'm a very spiritual person. In fact, if you stay until the end of this video, just for fun and to try something new, I'll be sharing an oracle card that I pulled just for you. I love spirituality, but I also love to balance that with science. I think it's so important that we have a balance between spirituality and science, just like natural health and Western medicine. What does science say about introverted intuition? In layman's terms, and I'm not a scientist, I'm not a psychiatrist, the INFJs use a big portion of their brain where intuition lies, which is in the unconscious part of the brain. So the INFJ, using this part of the brain, can see patterns and process these patterns and information before they even realize that that information is being processed unconsciously in their brain. This part of the brain has no language to verbalize communication on what it's processing and how it's thinking. It's not part of the analytical side of the brain. Although you may not be able to verbalize the process of what's going on, it's very much happening inside your brain, and it's very powerful. And I understand the frustration when you have this awesome idea and you have all these steps on how you got to that idea, but it's really hard to communicate those ideas to someone else because the way you processed it was in the part of the brain that doesn't have the language. That's why I'm passionate as an INFJ therapist to provide therapy for INFJs, because I get this about you, I get this about your brain, so you don't need to try and explain to me how you got to a certain conclusion or an idea or an understanding, because I understand how you processed that information to get there. When I was younger, I had a really big problem with verbal diarrhea. I would constantly pull people up on their shit. I would speak exactly what was on my mind. I was known to be opinionated. I loved debating. I loved calling people out. I would tell people what I was intuitively feeling. And trust me, this did not go down well. And I'm sure you've experienced this too. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. It pushed people away. I went through a period in my life where I was extremely lonely. And I found that people only wanted to be around me when they needed something from me. Support, love, advice, or someone to vent to. As I've gotten older and I have done a lot of self-work, I have grown in wisdom. Wisdom to keep my mouth shut. Wisdom to open my mouth when it matters. Wisdom to not tell everybody my plans or ideas, such as in business. but to just do it. Because often I would tell people what I was intuitively thinking and unable to explain how I came to those decisions. And the naysayers would say,
nah, that's a shit idea.
I would then listen to their thoughts. I would shut down any idea or intuitive thinking I had, and I would quit and I wouldn't even try. But now I've learned to trust my intuition and to just do it, and to then watch the beautiful things to unfold. I want to encourage you, INFJ. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are unique. You are deserving of love, of friendships, of support. And although you might feel like a weirdo, there are people out there who will love you for who you are. But first, it takes an acceptance of yourself, an acceptance of your strengths, because people can pick up on when you don't love you. And when they pick up on that, their natural reaction will be to reject you and to push you away. And so it's time that you learn to love yourself. And if you need help and support, such as in therapy, then you can book an inquiry call with me and we can talk about that. Before I filmed this video, I pulled an oracle card from the Rebecca Campbell deck with you in mind. This is the card. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? And I'm going to read from the Rebecca Campbell book. You are here for a reason. You are being called to bravely pave a path. Have you answered your highest and deepest calling? Living a heart and soul-led life is not all fluffy and smooth sailing. Living a heart and soul-led life requires courage to triumph over fear. So often, our fears are the gatekeepers to our greatest gifts. And the more resistance we have toward answering a call, the more important it is to our soul's growth. Sometimes fear is an indication that we are facing the right way. Joan of Arc was known for her courage and her famous line, "I'm not afraid. I was born to do this." But the thing about courage is that it is not possible without fear. So, if you are feeling afraid, what is needed is courage. And courage comes from living from the heart. Think of your fears as an opportunity to expand rather than things that are holding you hostage. If you look at your fears in this light, then as uncomfortable as it might feel, it's actually a sign that you are on the right track. I will link that deck down below in the description if you wanted to grab your own copy. They're a really beautiful set of cards and I love using them. And I sometimes use cards in my therapy sessions if the client wants that. I very much need to be asked by the clients before I'll do that. Let me know if you want me to keep doing more cards in my videos. So INFJ, keep working on yourself, keep loving yourself, showing yourself self-compassion, because you have a calling, you have a purpose. You are someone who is meant to make a difference in the world. If you would like to watch a video on can INFJs succeed in business, then you can watch that here. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.